Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So let's begin the Nifty weekly analysis. Okay. By the way, I'm just curious. Last week, the video which I made that got the views were way higher than usually, what we get. So I want to know, what did you guys like about last week? Was it the discussion about the 920 thing in which I gave my views? Was it the technical levels which, I said ki I expect this to go to zero, that to go to zero sort of thing. So I need exactly, if you could please take out 30 seconds of your time and let me know what you like. So I'll keep doing that repeatedly. Okay. So basically आपको जो चाहिए आपको मिल जाएगा. Okay. So now we'll go over the Q&A section. Okay. At the end of the video after the analysis, we'll take all the queries. I got a lot of queries. Okay. This time also because there's a change. Okay. Now the Nifty expiry is going to be on Tuesday. We'll look at what is the plan moving forward. Okay. I've kept the option chain also ready. I've kept, I think, good trade, decently good trade, I think, ready for you. So we'll start that. Okay. Now just a disclaimer before we begin. The good trade and all which I mentioned, it's all related to my planning, okay, for how I'm going to make my money. It's not relating and I'm not suggesting anyone to copy me. So just a disclaimer, consult your financial advisor, okay. Now if we start with the weekly candle, what do we see? I see a strong bearish candle here, okay. So automatically when I see a strong bearish candle, I know the probability of the market going up and becoming super bullish next week is very low. So we'll also discuss last week what I said. That time we only had this rejection candle. Okay. So that time I told you 25 250 calls should go to zero because there are two resistances there. I told you 24 450 put should go to zero because that was a support. Both of them went to zero. Okay. This is Friday. That aaj bhi Nifty gira hai. So you're thinking it came down, but both the puts and the calls which I suggested went to zero. Okay. I'll show it to you in the 15-minute time frame. Now what? Okay. So now after this, I'm getting sort of worried that the market will be dangerous for the put sellers now. Okay. After this candle. So we'll have to go like in the daily chart and 50 minutes chart to find out zones where we can sell, where, the risk will be lesser for us. So I'm just going to do the weekly analysis first, usually, we tend to do. Then we'll take a look at, what is our planning for the coming week. Okay. So on the daily chart, the last week we spoke 25 to 50 call most likely will go to zero. Okay. We expected 25 150 also to go to zero once this support broke of 24 852. Then we expected some sort of bullishness if the market came down, which we didn't get. Okay. This again gave us a bearish move. So this 24 650 se jo bounce tha, that failed. Okay, baki everything worked out. Also we discussed that Monday, we're going to get a gap up. So gap up pe I told you inside candle banega. And the moment this support breaks of 24 850, we should basically keep whatever calls you're in. Let's just say you're in this call, you should come down to this, then the red candle high and so on. Okay, you have a lot of resistance levels available for you. Cool. So now what? Now first thing on the daily chart also we have a bearish candle, which means definitely no one should be like only put selling this candle. Okay. Now if we have to plan for the next week, what do I see from the last week? I see a violent down move. Okay. Violent down move. Now the probability of a violent up move becomes less. So if we just plan to sell calls at these levels, okay, my planning is there are two resistance levels which I definitely want to sell calls at. The first one is 24 650. जो last week मैंने जो level दिया था 24 650, I expected a bounce from here. Now this did not come. Okay, it broke this very easily. So this can become a good resistance in the coming week. If you get an up move 24 650 के आसपास, I think it's a great time to sell calls. Okay, I'll be selling some calls. Now if that also is broken and if we close somewhat like this, okay, this sort of a candle, which means a green candle, green bullish candle, then I'll know that I have a floor for the week and then my ceiling for the week will be this 850 ka zone. Okay, so if the market comes up, I'll try to short it again near 24 850 as well. I'm writing both the levels for you so that it's easier for you to understand what I'm saying. Okay, so until the presence of a strong green candle, I don't try to even talk about puts because I think it will be dangerous because market is very moody on the downside now. Now let's talk about support levels. Okay, if the market comes down, where do we expect the support? We tried at this gap level 24 650. It didn't work, no problem. So let's try it at this one. This one meaning 24,000 level. Now this for me again is a very strong support, and actually this zone 23,800 se leke 24,000. There's very high chances that if the market comes down, it will go back up quickly because it's falling like a knife. It will go up also quickly then if it comes down even more in the next week. So for me, the very strong support levels are 24,000 and 23,800. If we get somewhat market here and a bullish move from here, I'll try to sell some OTM puts. Now let's move forward. Okay, I've come on the 15-minute time frame now. Let's first talk about what is my plan if the market goes up. Okay, if the market goes up, my first planning is, let's think of it, how will it go up? So it will come up quickly because it has fallen, I think so. Okay, so it will come up quickly, but it will again eventually lead to some resistance on the upside. So this level of 24,650 becomes a good place for me to initiate some calls. Okay, if I get a lower low sort of thing here. If this does not work, let's say if I'm absolutely wrong, mera ye 650 level is wrong, okay, then I would like to bet my call selling trades near 24,872. Okay, so let's say this is my R1, this is my R2. So my R2, it's very likely that the market won't close above R2 in this week. So whenever you get a chance to sell calls above R2, so let's say it's 25,000, 25,150, 25,250 if you remember the analysis on the weekly front. So all these calls will be great to sell on a spike if you get an up move. Now let's take the case that it's going to fall down. Okay, so now we have to be very cautious near this 24,350 low level because it has bounced up from here 2 times, so which means there are some buyers at this zone for sure, क्योंकि वहां से bounce आ रहा है, which means there is some person there who is interested in buying. Now we need this person to be defeated. If this guy has to be defeated, the bare minimum thing which we need is we need a 15-minute candle close below this level. Okay, when we get that, I'm taking you quite far behind, but this gap level of 24,000 is the next support for us. Okay, so if this support breaks, I'm expecting a fall till 24,000 levels. In other words, if the support breaks, I'm expecting 24,650 and above calls to go to zero. So any sort of bullishness only above this 24,673 level. The second attempt where you should do the bullishness is the near 24,000 ka level. There are only 2 zones for bullish. Otherwise, you know my view. Okay, so I think that's very clear about my view and what I plan to do. Next, let's actually have a look at the option chain. So see, we have our 2 levels of resistance levels, R1, R2. The R2 level is 24,850. Okay, let's catch 24,850. Now, what am I getting here? 24,850, I'm getting only 8 rupees. Side, I'm not too sure. Let's say even if 24,000, I think will go to zero by Tuesday. I'll have to sell a put below this level. So 23,900 then. I'm getting sort of 8 plus 3 to 11 points. So that's close to 0.5%. I think an easier trade and a safer trade for me is just go into the next expiry of 9th September. And what did we discuss here? We discussed 25,150 call to go to zero. Why 150 call? See, we know in the weekly candle this is a weekly bearish Marubozu, so we don't expect a green Marubozu now in this week easily. Okay, there has to be some halt and then it will happen. So we expect 25,150 call to go to zero. So if we go in the 9th September expiry, the 25,150 call is at 14 rupees. Now, one more thing. Let me come on the daily chart and then show you what my thinking is on the put side. What we expect near 24,000 and also near 23,800. Either or, okay? One of the places we expect a support. In other words, I can also probably tell you my view is that 23,800 ke niche it won't go in the next 9 days. Okay? If that is my view, 23,800 ke niche it won't go. The 23,700, 23,600 puts, let's take 23,600 for example. This is quoting at 11 rupees. So 25,150 14 and this 23,600 at 11. If you add both of them, you collect 25 points. 25 points gives you 1%. This has good distance also in the trade. So I think this is a safer trade than playing the Tuesday expiry as of now. Also, I need some data. Okay, anything new tends to happen in the market. I need to observe it and then build a plan around it. So I'll just play very safe in the current week if I do play. Varna, my go-to trade is going to be 25,150 call sell, 23,600 put sell. It's a pretty safe distance, I think so, in 9 days. So we'll see. 1-2 days also if the market basically gives a pause kind of a zone, no, and your premiums will decay like anything. Okay, so let's monitor this trade and we'll finally see if whether I'm correct or not. And because this is also new to me, usually I bet always. I think I became very good in this weekly candle reading and then predicting which level will go to zero because it was only a 4-day thing. So now the market will test me because my 4-day thing, the gut I would say has increased 3 days to it. So 4 ke jagah now I have to bet for 7 days. So let's see if I'm good at that or no. But I told you what I expect. Weekly front pe also 23,800 tak if it comes, I expect an up move only from here. So that's the trade part of it. Now let's quickly discuss Bank Nifty and Sensex. Okay. So Bank Nifty, it has come at the retest level. Okay. So this is a breakout, retest, and second time it's come to retest. So Bank Nifty, I expect here, yahan se if you plan a bearish trade in Bank Nifty, very difficult for me longer term. For a 1 week or 2 weeks probably you might be correct, but eventually in the weekly time frame then it has to go up. Okay, so because this location is a bullish location, ATH ka retest hai, so here we have to plan a bullish trade only here. You can't talk about bearishness. So bank nifty I'm not going to talk about it too much, bearish side ka. Bullishness, when it will happen I'll tell you. Sensex, okay, Sensex has exactly closed at the last 4 weeks के lows के आसपास. Now let's go on the daily front. Seems lovely if we get a closing below this support level of 79,700. 79,700 के नीचे, I think it will trigger more down move. Okay, and then I would be selling calls in Sensex. Now I haven't checked the option chain in Sensex, but if I get decent premiums, if this breakdown candle happens and if I get decent premiums in our 81,200 candle, I will try to sell these calls. If not, I'll just skip it entirely and just focus on my Nifty trade. Okay. But Sensex definitely, this is the last ray of hope. This 79,700 wala. Varna, I think so. Next best thing you can talk about in Sensex is the 78,650 level. Okay. 78,650 pe, you can probably attempt some bullish trade here because there's going to be a location there jahan pe buyers are interested. Cool. Yeah, I won't add too much because again, this also has changed. And more likely, what analysis we used to do for Nifty, that will apply actually very nicely for Sensex. Trade Sensex actually jada. Kabhi I rarely do. And let's just focus on Nifty, okay, for now. So for the ones who trade Sensex, 79,700 is a very important support. If that has been broken, it's a good trade actually on the bearish side. The problem is it has been falling continuously. So I would stay away from Sensex, okay, for this week. Now let's discuss the questions, okay. Now can you tell me how you build your position each week? Which day do you start building your position? Every day basically. And when do you increase your position? I'm always 100% deployed, most likely. Okay, if I have a trade, if I feel the premiums are very shitty, I won't be in a trade. Then I'll try to pyramid. I'll basically sell only 50% capital. And then when a market, there's some spike happening, then I'll sell 50 more. The expiry has changed to Tuesday. How will this affect your position? I've already given a plan for this week. Already answered in the question, okay? Basically, I'll go in the 9th September wala expiry and then play. Now, can you tell me how you build your position? Let's just see last week, okay? Friday, this day, the bearish Maru Bozu day was the day where I gave you my analysis. I told you that 25,250 calls should go to zero. So definitely I will have that as a sell. I told you 24,350 put should go to zero, which means for that this week my view was non-directional. So I'll have a put and a call in the system, and the call would always be higher because my weekly candle was a rejection candle. So after that, I don't expect a bullish move. So the calls have to go to zero easier than the puts. So the calls have to balance the puts when the market is coming down. So calls higher rakke, then only will basically taking a trade. Now, if the support breaks, the 25,250 call will be rolled down to the next resistance, which is 25,150, 25,000 level and so on. Okay, basically roll down the calls if the supports break. I can't basically har ek query ka every combination I can't give you an answer, but that's basically how we trade. So the second one, like you said, the calls went to zero. I never had any issue with the calls. Very good. I had a small stop loss on puts on Tuesday. Yes, because market was at a support and then it came up from the support. So definitely you might have rolled up your puts and then gotten screwed in this first candle. Yeah, this might have happened. Yes. So overall a green week, very good. Okay. घंटा भी रिटर्न नहीं आएगा क्लासिक. Yeah, I told you actually. Most likely तो मैं जो रहता वही बोलता मैं. Unless I have to, I don't want to talk about some point ना. Most likely I'll always tell you my real thoughts only. भाई को एक भाषा में बोलना, आपकी इंग्लिश बहुत confusing है. Let me know actually if multiple people like agree with this person. I actually like that Pune, Mumbai ka like language sort of thing. They mix the Hindi and English. So मुझे पसंद है वो. That's why I speak like that. But definitely if you guys are not liking it, I'll change. No worries. What are the opportunities for the Indian FNO traders if weekly expiries are stopped? Firstly, we should actually talk about it if it happens. वो होने वाला है उसके बारे में बात करके there's no point, okay? But just to give you an answer, there was a time where option trading used to happen even without the weekly expiries, even without the daily expiries. So we'll go and have to study monthly में कैसा खेलना है and then do that. Because we don't have an option. Dubai एक option है, but even that's illegal unless you become a resident there. Yes, but to answer your question, I'll play monthly then. Whatever works, I'll do that then. I'll have to build systems around that. I might even explore the 3 months वगैरह आगे का options then if this happens. Or then equities also then. We'll have to finally. I never rate those guys, equity wale log. They're horrible, all of them. बहुत कम लोगों के पास वो पीएनएल है इक्विटी साइड पे वो दिखाने के लिए दैट दे आर वेरी सक्सेसफुल विद इट. So I don't trust the Indians on the equity front. I've always only trusted option sellers, but we'll see what to do if it stops. I don't think it will stop. If it stops, we'll see what to do. Last section is the best. Love hearing both your insights on different kinds of questions. This is what I want to know. Did you guys like that part of the video, or did you like the this will go to zero, that will go to zero sort of thing? I've done that this week also. I've tried to at least. Stumbled upon your channel. Love that you give clear levels with charts. Yes, I think my analysis you should basically figure out very easily what my view is. It's either a call sell or a put sell, or it's either both. I'll be executing that trade. That's it. I've done a lot of back testing to get the, the percentage of me being correct. That will always be very high because I am incorrect in the back test. I'll try to change and learn from the market. So my accuracy will be very high always. Monday and Tuesday, I think Wednesday's holiday. Yes, there was a lot of decay till Tuesday. And are you wearing a Chelsea jersey? Are you a Blues fan? No, I'm a Man City fan. I was not wearing a Chelsea jersey. Huge Pep Guardiola fan. Okay, so I love Man City, Barca, those kind of gameplays I like. Thoughts align with you. Time-based trades don't work for me. They most likely in the long run won't work for a lot of people. Always work with price action only. I mean, why would you do something different to what the past winners have done? It doesn't make sense to me. This was a good video. Please tell me why is it a good video. Now his question is, I'm usually right on my direction and my sold options eventually go to zero, but you prematurely exit the trades because of the MTM fluctuations in the PNL second by second. How do you deal with that? I want to know what kind of capital you have. You should not be getting scared on a lower capital if you have it. And what's the counter? So let's say even I was you, okay, at one point. In fact, there's no trader who used to be as scared as me initially. If you want to have a good look as जैसे मेरा past Aditya, how was he? You should go and search my Twitter handle and past के 2018, 2019 के trades. Very, very scared trader I was. But now I've made my money, so I don't get scared even if I lose some. So I think the only thing which helps you eventually is profit money, and you should basically build your profits slowly and then learn to take risk on it. So if you're exiting your trades, I think this, how I bet 100% of my capital whenever I feel, okay? Most likely always 100% I'll bet whenever I want to. I think this is something that will not work for you because you tend to get scared in that spike. So try to bet 50 on whatever option you usually sell, and 50 either don't bet or either sell pennies with that, okay, so that you make some money. And then see how your experience is. But only two things can help you. First thing is backtesting. So let's say if you're always studying how a 15 rupee, 10 rupee or a 20 rupee option is reacting. So let's say the 10 rupee option is going to go to 20 or 21, and every week that will happen. So you are more or less prepared ki is bar jab 20 aayega, ki that's how the market works, okay? Now if it goes above 30, for example, very rarely that happens, the option triples. So that is a time where I think you can get scared because the past mein aisa hua nahi hai. Secondly, you can improve your technicals also, because zyada hi if the market is going against you, that also means your technical reading is going wrong. Because let's say if you say bearish or bullish, okay, if you say bullish then bahut niche nahi aana chahiye logically. If you say bearish then bahut uppar nahi jana chahiye. So that spike should not happen. So learn to take a different bet other than if you're getting too many M2M fluctuations always. And second thing, try to play with 50% of a capital and 50% keep for pennies only, and that also you can stagger it out. For example, Friday hai, let's for argument's sake, let's take Thursday ko expiry hai. So Friday ko just take 50% of your position size. Monday ko deploy baki ka 50% ka 25%, Tuesday 25, Wednesday 25, and so on. This way you will get the practice of sitting in a trade and learning how to manage and move that trade on 50% quantity, and I think you will be okay with it. It's okay if you waste like 1 month also isme slow khilne mein, but that confidence you need, I think so. It would be really helpful if you could walk us through the trades you took last Friday, especially the strikes you selected. I've done this actually. I in this video already done it, basically how we trade. I think it will help you. Let me know actually if that this helped or not. And my strongest feeling is that your channel is helping us a lot and you are brutally honest with your views. Yes, thank you. If it helps you, great. I want to ask you, SEBI is banning weekly expiry. How will you bet after that? I'll either do monthly or equities or just as a joke then Dubai. Okay, so we'll see. So that's it for the video. Let's see how the next week pans out, and more or less I think so. Let's see how the trade works out for the 9th September expiry. Okay, so that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next week probably. Bye bye.